All right, hi you guys, this is Angie with Beauties and the Bigfoot, and I wanted to read you guys an article that I came across. Today is Friday, November 21st, 2025 already. I can't believe how fast this month is flying by. So anyway, I came across his name. I can't remember where I was, which platform I was on when I was looking through stuff, and his name came up, and then I thought, oh, that's an interesting story, and I had not heard his name before, so I thought maybe some of you had not heard his name before either. He's basically one of the founding fathers of the Bigfoot information that we have today. I know a lot of the early settlers and the Native Americans have their stories going back into, I think it was 1851. I found a date, and I'll do that story maybe tomorrow. We'll see if I have time to do that, but I'm going to be reading off what I printed out for you guys. So it's from, it just says Bigfoot Beat. And it says J.W. Burns and Sasquatch lore. J.W. Burns, a key figure in the creation of Bigfoot lore, greatly influenced public opinion and interest in this mysterious species. His contributions to cryptozoology are especially noteworthy since they successfully combined popular culture, science, and folklore, turning Bigfoot from a local tale to a globally acknowledged entity. In addition to shaping our understanding of Bigfoot, Burns's writings ignited a wider interest in cryptids and the natural world's mysteries. Local indigenous tradition and stories first introduced the concept of Bigfoot to Burns, a school teacher and newspaper editor, in the 1920s. The Stalas people, who named the creature Sasquatch, particularly influenced his stories. Burns started to record and disseminate these tales after realizing their potential, raising awareness of the Sasquatch's legend's cultural relevance. He emphasized the significance of comprehending the interaction between humans and the natural world by showcasing the indigenous stories about the creature and the rich oral traditions that have kept these tales alive for decades. Burns' 1929 essay in the Daily British Columbian, one of the earliest notable works of journalism devoted to the subject of Sasquatch, was published. Public attention was piqued, and the lore was given legitimacy by the article's extensive descriptions of sightings and encounters. His research contributed to the developments of a narrative framework that explains Bigfoot as a possible living being rather than only a mythological character. This change in viewpoint had a crucial role in creating an atmosphere of interest and inquiry into the phenomenon, setting the stage for more research in the ensuing decades. Burns's impact went beyond simple reporting. He actively worked to advance the notion that the Sasquatch merited more in-depth research by interacting with the public and the scientific community. He sparked a grassroots movement that would eventually develop into the contemporary Bigfoot research community by encouraging enthusiasts and amateur researchers to share their discoveries and first-hand accounts. His ability to bridge the gap between science and mythology encouraged many others to research the monster. They're not monsters. which resulted in a wave of Bigfoot sightings, investigations, and let me show you. This is a picture right there of what he looks like. Oh, there's a better picture on this page. Burns' contributions have contributed to Bigfoot's status as a cultural icon. Early in the 20th century, as interest in cryptids and unexplained events grew, he promoted the Sasquatch mythology. Myths about enigmatic creatures proliferated throughout this time because of the developments in communication and media. Burns capitalized on this trend by depicting Bigfoot as a symbol of the wild and the unknown, a portrayal that resonated deeply within a culture increasingly captivated by nature and its mysteries. The legendary animal became a symbol of both the allure and the fear of the unknown, reflecting humanity's desire to connect with nature. As Bigfoot mythology evolved, it began to shape popular culture with television series, movies, and books, drawing inspiration from the stories that Burns disseminated. His contributions established the groundwork for the ongoing interest in Sasquatch that has influenced everything from documentaries to fiction. Because of its cultural relevance, Bigfoot is continuing to be a hot topic in both mainstream media and cryptozoological groups. Here's a better picture of him. That's what he looked like. The way Burns contributed to turning a local legend into a worldwide sensation demonstrates his influence on Bigfoot mythology. He established a network of fans and scholars by using indigenous storytelling with a lot of scientific inquiry to create a framework that has promoted inquiry and exploration. In addition to preserving a significant piece of cultural legacy, Burns' promotion of the Sasquatch mythology sparked an interest that has endured for generations. As a tribute to the power of narrative, this meeting point of myth and reality and humanity's never-ending pursuit of understanding the secrets of nature, J.W. Burns' legacy lives on today. So that's where Bigfoot gained his popularity. That's where it was the jumping point. Burns was a jumping point for that. I found that interesting because a lot of times we don't delve into who, had the interactions with our forest friends first, or how that came to be known. Was it just passed down from word of mouth, or was it documented? Was it written somewhere? So I just found this interesting that we actually had a pivot point to go back to show when the interest in Bigfoot started gaining popularity. And then this is just a picture of I don't know if you guys remember the $6 Million Man when he fought the Bigfoot. And this is one of the popular pictures. And this looks like a juvenile to me. I don't know if you guys have seen, you've probably all seen this picture. And then this looks like a comic book. These are just pictures that showed up when I printed the story out so that I could read it to you guys. So I found that to be interesting piece of information. And then there was also, when I started Googling it, there's also, like I said, a story back as far back as 1851. Now that, I don't think that was written down anywhere. I think that was just communicated orally, passed down from generation to generation. But I did not delve into that. I just thought, oh, I'll do the Burns thing first, and then I'll like backtrack and we'll piggyback on that with the next video. And another interesting thing happened to me today. It happens a lot. It just happens a lot. So I got a new lease vehicle today, and I was texting with my friend, and I wanted to show her a picture of what I got. So I went out into the garage I have a detached garage, take a picture of the vehicle. And of course it's dark out. And two sides of my house have a very strong movement light, that goes on whenever it catches movement. And I also have two on the front of the garage. And then I have one that's not quite so strong on the south side of the house. So whenever I go from my house into the garage and it's dark, I always say, coming out, because that floodlight will go on, and it's pretty blinding. It's a pretty good light. So I always say, coming out, watch your eyes, because I don't know. In my head, I think they're light sensitive, because it seems like I've heard stories of people shining the light in their eyes and they're all like, not liking it so much. Plus, they see so good in the dark. It seems like the light would not hurt their vision, but it would cause them some kind of discomfort or something. So anyway, I always say, coming out, watch your eyes. And then I went in the garage, I took my picture, and I came back out. And as I turned the lights off in the garage and I was coming back out, mind you, it's like 5 steps from my garage door to my back door, and it's a straight shot. They're pretty much boom, boom, right across from each other. I get a wood knock, and it came from the south side of the house, and it was just cool because I just kind of turned and I screamed, thank you, or you're welcome. I didn't say thank you, I said you're welcome, because I thought that was probably their way of thanking me for, acknowledging that they don't like those lights and to watch their face, because I don't want them to be blinded and I don't want them to be shot. So that's why I always yell out when I go out in the dark, coming out, watch your eyes. And then the other thing I do in the morning when I'm coming out is I always, every day, and then if I forget, I roll my window down and I yell it out before I leave out of the driveway, is I always say, good morning, have a great day, when I'm going from my house to my garage to leave for work. I always give them a good morning acknowledgement. And if I forget, which I think I forgot 3 times, I always remember before I leave the driveway. So like after I pull out of the garage and I hit the garage door opener and I'm waiting for the garage to close, I'll realize, oh my God, I forgot to say good morning. So I roll the window down and I yell out the window, good morning, have a great day. And it's just something that I do. And I got to thinking about this today, and I'm like, I guess that's a routine that I have gotten into over the years, acknowledging them, just like they have gotten into the routine over the years of every night between 9 and 10 o'clock throwing something at the side of the house. And like I said, it's usually a small pebble, sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes. Mostly it's those sugar gum tree pods that they throw. And I have went out there and tried to throw them to see if that was what made the noise, because I would find them on, I have a deck on the side of the house, and I'd find them on the deck. And sure as shit, that's the noise that comes from that side of the house. And in the beginning I was like, oh, that's probably just a branch or something falling on the thing. But then the wind doesn't come every night between 9 and 10 o'clock at the same time. And this is like clockwork, between 9 and 10 o'clock. Now the other interesting thing that happened one time was my granddaughter was over here and she was visiting, and it was like, I don't know, early afternoon, like between somewhere around 1 or 4. I'm not exactly sure what time it was, but it was daylight. And we were sitting there talking, and something got thrown at the house. And she was talking, and she stopped and she looked at me, and I'm like, they're just saying hi. They know you're here. So I've got to explain about that. She's 19 and they absolutely love her. The one time she came over and she had parked her car in my driveway and we left it out. And I had told Olaf, because we were going to a paranormal conference, and I told Olaf, okay, Olaf, you're in charge. Olaf is the little one. And I said, make sure everything is safe around here. Erica's going to leave her car out here. So keep an eye on everything. And I said this out loud. So we get back, and I think I've told the story before, but I'm not sure. We get back, and you know I love the Y sticks. I just love them. There were 4 Y sticks around her car. One placed by each tire. It was incredible, and she just started almost crying because she's like, oh my God, does that mean he likes me? And I said, yeah, that really means he likes you, because look. And I didn't even take a picture. We were so caught up in the moment, I didn't even take a picture, which is a huge regret now. But you live and you learn. When you're having these experiences with them and you're in that moment, you don't think, oh my God, I gotta record this. Sometimes you do, but when you're having like these kind of experiences, you don't think, and then you just go on and you forget about it, because these are like, you know, you're in the moment with them and you're experiencing this. So we just took the white sticks and we yelled thank you, and that was it. So that was another incredible thing. But that just goes to show you, he really likes her. And the fact that we got a daytime house object being thrown was incredible to me. I love that. That means that, you know, they're always watching. They're always watching. I've heard it said, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I read somewhere, somebody in one of the forums was saying, if you are having activity with Sasquatch, you best believe they have eyes on you at all times. I'm half and half with that. The poster was saying that if you're having activity with them and you're in their area, they for sure have one of them, a scout or whatever he called them, watching you at all times. And I'm thinking to myself, would they take a lot of naps during the day? So do they switch, like, you know, watches? Okay, you go watch her at this time and then come and get me and I'll take over, or, you know, or is this a I know they can keep track of your energy telepathically when you are connected with them, because they have done that with me. Somehow their abilities, one of them is to be able to have that link with you, and like it's almost like Bigfoot satellite or something that they got going on, and they can keep track of where you are without actually having to physically follow you, although they do follow you. I know the little one has shown up. I am a rural mail carrier, and the little one has shown up in the woods in the last part of my route. So I do know they travel, and I have seen the Jabi physically with my own eyes, the big one, on my way home from work. So they do travel, and I've heard they walk a lot. So I can't remember the miles that they said that they walk, but they walk a lot. So all right, you guys, I'm gonna end that here, and we're gonna try and do a few more stories. I do my best with that, you know, telling the stories from the females. And I was contacted by one lady that I have to get a hold of that probably had what you would call a normal encounter, where it was just like a minute. It was, most of the encounters that you come across, they're really, really quick. They're quick sightings, but they're stories anyway. And I have to get a hold of her to find out what happened. So I will do that. And you guys have a great weekend. And I will be going to one of the locations on Sunday. I haven't decided which one. So we'll be doing our Sunday video for that. And thank you guys for being here with me. I appreciate you guys so much. And the interactions that I have with you guys are great. So thank you. All right, have a great weekend, you guys.